Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers.
All right.
Let the magic begin.
Let it happen. Big dog. Let the big dog eat.
Yeah, I needed a little coffee today, brother.
I hear you, man. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Sipping on Excellence, where we give y'all something excellent to sip on.
All the time.
Hope y'all been tuning in every week. We are getting after it like we always do.
Fire, son. We are dropping fire,
straight
bro.
gems. We've been bringing it.
Man.
If y'all ain't listening and getting your people to subscribe and like and pass on, you're missing out. So
you better talk to them.
We're going to plug it.
Talk to them.
We're going to plug it first. YouTube, Sipping on Excellence, Coach KJ and Doc. Look for it. Look for us on Spotify. Look for us on Apple. You know, anywhere you catch your podcast. We
are there. iHeart, we're everywhere.
Yeah. This shit's worldwide. It really is. We were joking about it in the beginning, and then I'm like, India? Okay.
Right. Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, so you guys really are the reason why we keep this going. Keep sending the DMs. Keep checking us out. Saturdays for our warm-up shows where you guys get to interact with us. I think people missed it. This past, you know, whenever we don't have a Saturday, people miss it. I get texts, oh man, I was geared up, ready for 11 o'clock, and then it didn't happen. I'm like, you know what? Y'all keep wanting more.
Y'all be okay.
You'll be all right.
We still coming. we haven't gone away. It was just 1 week.
Can a brother take a day off?
Can I breathe?
Right.
Can I go get a seat somewhere?
I mean, y'all talk all that smack about what we talk about, but then you're all ears.
Yeah.
Because you just want to know more.
Because everybody want to know the magic, man. They want to hear it. They, right. It's like they challenge it. They fight it, but they still want to hear it.
Exactly. It's like stop fighting. Just take it in.
Right.
Just take it in.
Right.
Separate yourself from it and just take it all in.
Right.
But man, how was your week, man? Anything crazy, non-crazy, just special happened this week?
It's the same old. Just living the dream, buddy. Bro ham, protein shake.
Protein shake. Yeah, man, I feel you. I mean, it's not been too crazy.
So with you?
Nothing. This past week, I don't know if you saw this on my post, but so I'm sitting outside. This is how you know it pays to be kind to people. I'm sitting outside at work, just eating some lunch, kind of chilling, and this brother walks up to me, and he's like, "Hey, Dr. Hunt," and he's talking to me, blah blah whatever, and he's like, I don't know his name, and I feel bad for not knowing his name in that moment, but he's familiar because every time I see him at the hospital, we fist bump. We kind of, just give the little brother nod kind of thing.
It's like Jelani.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jelani.
But he works in housekeeping.
Okay.
Guys that clean the rooms, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen him for a while, but every time I see him, it's always a boom, boom, and we roll. So he happens to walks up to me outside and was like, "Dr. Hunt, I just want to come over here and give you a shout, whatever, and just let you know, man." He's like, "It's my last day of chemo." Wow. And I was like, my mom like, "I didn't even know you were sick."
I didn't know your first day.
And he points to his little IV that's hooked up and all this stuff. And he's like, "I just wanted to thank you for being so kind to me." He's like, he's like, "I'm getting up there in age, man." He's like, "And now that I'm finishing, this is a good time for me just to retire and kind of live my life." And I was like, "Good for you, man." And got up, gave him a pound, whatever. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't want to disturb your lunch." I was like, "For that news, you can disturb me anytime you want." Mm-hmm. But it was cool because you never know how you affect somebody just by, "What's up, man? What's up, man?"
And consistent with it.
Every single time I see him.
Absolutely.
I'm walking down the hall, and it's funny because there's sometimes we don't even speak. We're walking. If I'm talking to somebody at the same time, my fist just goes out, he bumps it, and he just keeps walking.
Yeah, you got it.
But it's always that way with, like, the guys who clean the floors. They're on those little tractor-looking things that clean floors, and they got their headphones on. They're doing their thing. Every time I'm walking down the hall and they're coming towards me on it, it's just one of these.
Yeah.
And they always, boom, keep going.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't try to talk because he's in his world. He's listening to his music, doing whatever, but it's that acknowledgement of, man, I see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's the same thing, like, so a lot of times when I'm coming here, before we record or training or whatever, and I get that space where I have a little, you know, just a little gap, what'll happen is I'll park around the corner. But I know the family that lives across the street. I only know them from coming out and hanging out. And the dad came over and we'll just talk. And he said, I said, you know what? What is your name? Now we're talking almost, it's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I said, what's your name? He said, Mike, because he's from Australia.
Yeah.
Mike, you know.
Yeah.
And find out he's an educator, find out all these wonderful things about him. And then we start talking about books and people that he's created this program. And he said, I would love for you to come out and see the program. And I'm like, he said, now this might get odd because we know each other's name now. So how's our relationship going to be?
Right?
Even to the point where his daughter says, I want to go speak to the man in the car. Daddy, let me go speak to the man in the car. So I'll get out the car, and talk to her. Yeah, it's
cool, right?
Yeah,
And
just being kind.
It costs you nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
You know, and I wanted to sort of start this podcast off with that message because I think most of us don't pay enough attention to just being kind to people. You're having a shitty day. That doesn't mean you can't be kind to somebody.
That might actually change your day.
Yeah, if not, it at least is going to change theirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they could be having a shittier day.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Man, it was just I was like, let me share this because I think it's cool.
That's good shit, man.
It's very cool. And it like I said, it cost me nothing. He wanted nothing from me. But in that moment, he wanted to share his excitement with not a stranger, but somebody who doesn't know his medical history. I'm not his doctor, none of that. He just, Doc, I'm happy this is my last one. And all I kept thinking is, I know how happy that dude is.
Because you know.
I know what that last day feels like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's going to be a while before he feels better. Mm-hmm. But knowing that you ain't coming back, once that poison's out of your system, you just kind of like, all right, now I'm good. But the feeling that I don't have to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, best shit ever.
I can imagine.
Best shit ever.
I can imagine.
Oh, man. So I thought we'd dive into a good topic today. Coach and I have been bouncing topics off each other daily, which good for you guys because the content just keeps rolling.
Yeah.
Y'all keep giving it to us whether you know it or not.
We've been bouncing that content like the Celtics on the Mavericks right now. Woo. Boy, Jesus. Except for that game 4. Ooh. Yeah. Anyway.
But we been bouncing off ideas, and I always tell people, if you tell me something is personal, it'll stay personal, but I guarantee you the subject matter around it might be content one day because your problem, other people's may be having the same thing. And the only way we as a society get through shit is to get through shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's that simple.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get through it unless people talk about it.
You know the content I've been giving? I just been cleaning out my inbox. I just checked emails. Oh, that's interesting. Let me send that.
Yeah.
Sound like a good idea.
Yeah. It's everyday conversations, TV, social media, whatever it may be. It's what it is.
It's everywhere. It's all around you.
Yeah. And so life is content. So don't be mad if something you hear is something that you disclose to me in private, because I'm not disclosing your stuff. Just know that a lot of times you're not the only person going through that same shit. Mm-hmm. And so if it's a subject matter that touches your heart or touches home, I may not be speaking about you specifically, but the content speaks to you specifically. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So one thing that you'll always hear thrown out there, and this is kind of what I hate, is when people talk about emotional intelligence. And it's one of those things where...
Are you about to look it up?
I'm about to give the definition of emotional intelligence.
Please do.
And the reason why we brought it up, emotional intelligence, is because everybody keeps talking about how men aren't emotionally intelligent, or a man will be ready to settle down when he becomes more emotionally intelligent, and women are more emotionally intelligent than men, and blah, 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 blah. And so this podcast isn't to make a hard hit against women. Mm-hmm. It's more to define what we think is emotional intelligence and kind of dig into that conversation.
Of course.
So emotional intelligence is just known. One definition says here, emotional intelligence is the ability to manage both your own emotions and understand the emotions of people around you. There are 5 key elements to emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Mm-hmm. So I think let's dig into this. So we brought this up because we wanted to say, are you emotionally intelligent or just emotional? Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to pose a few questions that I want you guys to think about. And Coach and I aren't going to answer those questions. These are just questions I want you to think about. If you are emotionally intelligent, then why do you go and get emotional and fly off the handle? Right? Mm-hmm. So is that when you become emotional and angry and you all of these different things, does that make you emotionally intelligent or just emotional? So one of the keys to emotional intelligence is knowing how to manage your emotions. So
that has to be the basis, right?
Right. But
bottom of the line.
But with men, and here's the funny part. Men will say, well, see, then that makes us emotionally intelligent. No, because burying your emotions isn't managing them.
And that's not very intelligent.
But because we're not expressing them by flying off the handle and all that, we bury them until we snap. So does that make you emotionally intelligent? No, that just makes you, you put logic before emotion. Doesn't mean that you're emotionally intelligent. Ladies, I'm not done. Because on the flip side, it doesn't make you emotionally intelligent because you know how to express your emotions, and sometimes overly so. Mm-hmm. Because you know how to express them doesn't mean you know how to manage them. Because there's a whole lot of women out there who will express the shit out of their emotions, but can't get a grip. And there are a shitload of men out there who don't express them at all and can't get a grip.
Yeah, because the bottom line is this. Emotions is a feeling. It's a feeling that you're absorbing. Now, how you spit out that emotion, whether it's taking it in, understanding, reflecting, and having a critical moment where you're able to process that and then share it in a, kind of meaningful way versus being emotional where it's a reaction. It's not even an action, it's a reaction. It's first in mind, shooting out the head.
So I think, too, to that point, looking at one of the 5 key elements of emotional intelligence, self-awareness. So something about what I said or did doesn't sit well with you. First of all, you have to decide, am I angry about it or am I disappointed about it? Mm-hmm. Am I angry with you or am I angry at the situation? That becoming self-aware on, first of all, how did it affect me? Not the fact that it happened. You can't control the fact that it happened. But self-awareness comes from, okay, I have to decide what I'm feeling. So is this anger or is this disappointment? Mm-hmm. Or is this fear? Because all of those things can get processed like anger.
Of course.
You know, and so emotional intelligence is being able to sit with that for a minute or even a second before you react. And saying, okay, what do I do with this? Okay, I'm disappointed. Now I'm aware of what that is, you know, and so what do I do with it next? So many of us take that feeling and don't know how to process that feeling. Mm-hmm. Emotional intelligence is not feeling it. It's how do I process it?
Right.
If emotional intelligence was feeling, we would all be significantly emotionally intelligent because we all feel. We all express. But it's how you process it that makes you intelligent. I could read a book, but if my reading comprehension is shit,
you're just reading
then I'm just dumb. I mean, my reading comprehension, if it's zero, I can read all the words, but if I don't understand them, am I smart? Am I intelligent? No.
No.
Because I can't process it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
You know, and so to me, that being aware is huge.
Oh, it's massive.
And then once you're aware of your feeling, whatever that is, once I've processed it in here, how I now interpret that and show it to you, and at what level is the self-regulation part.
Your navigation.
How am I going to now express it? Mm-hmm. Am I going to fly off the handle? Am I going to want to put my hands around your neck and squeeze? Or am I going to sit you down and be like, hey, I'm disappointed in you. I'm angry with you, and here's why. Mm-hmm. Or I'm going to be like, fuck you, coach. I hate everything about you. I hate what you did to me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm saying the same thing. You fucking disappointed me. But I didn't regulate my emotion enough to just say, hey, you know what? Let me tell you in a civilized manner how I feel and how this is affecting me. And so without that aspect, are you emotionally intelligent? No.
Yeah. What do you think the percentage of people worldwide, mm-hmm. what do you think that are emotionally intelligent?
I think 100% of people are emotionally intelligent in spurts. I think we all lose sight of that.
Of course.
And there's different levels of it. But I think it depends on the scenario. It depends on the outward influences. Mm-hmm. You know, but I think we're all emotionally intelligent to a certain extent.
Do you think?
Because we all have the know-how.
Yeah,
we all
I was
know.
going to say, do you think like someone's background, their history, family history, relationship history, may have had some level of input in how they process? You know?
Oh, 100%. But think about this. There's, like I say, there's different levels of emotional intelligence, but I also think it also comes with physical and intellectual maturity as well. Mm-hmm. I can't expect my 13-year-old nephew or 15-year-old nephew to be as emotionally intelligent as a 27-year-old niece. But they can have emotional intelligence in different areas as it pertains to their life experiences. I think as you experience things in life, your level of emotional intelligence grows, because one of the 5 key elements of emotional intelligence is empathy. And how are you going to empathize with somebody if you haven't experienced it? Mm-hmm. You know, if I've never been shot in the face, I can't look at somebody who's been shot in the face and say, yeah, I see how you feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, a man will never have emotional intelligence when it comes to giving birth and the feelings a woman has for being a mother.
Yeah.
When it comes to that level of intelligence, a man doesn't have it because he can't have the empathy for it. And he's not motivated to be a mother.
Yeah.
You know? And so you can't in that regard. And so there's so many different things. That's why people always mistake defining emotional intelligence.
Yes, they do.
And for a man or a woman to try to compare levels of emotional intelligence, you're comparing apples and oranges, because we experience the world differently.
Every single day.
We experience it differently.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we always have that conversation about relationships and how a married man comes to you and asks you for advice, so to speak, within marriage. And you're like, never been married, don't know.
Yep.
I don't know if I can give you that. I don't have the space for it. I don't have the capacity for that because I don't know.
And I can speak to you on how to interact with a woman, but I can't speak to you on how to interact with your woman.
Right.
Because my level of interaction with your woman is very different, because she's going to interact with me differently than she interacts with you. Mm-hmm. So the information that I'm inputting into this computer is very different than the information that's being input into your computer.
Yeah, your processing unit.
Yeah, I'm processing different data.
Exactly.
And there's some data that will be similar, but I'm taking data from my past experiences and applying that formula to this new experience, which has nothing to do with your past experiences and how you're seeing that data.
Let alone you're an engineer.
Yeah.
That engineering brain.
Logical as fuck. But that's just how life is.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to take a step back. Let's keep it simple.
Okay.
A woman walks down the street. A man smacks her on her ass. She turns around, flies out the handle. Don't you dare touch me. What do you think? That's so inappropriate. Blah, 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 blah. Gets angry, gets mad, walks off. A man walks down the street and a woman smacks him on his ass. He doesn't like it, but he turns around and is like, come on, man. Why'd you do that? No harm, no foul. I'm out. Who's more emotionally intelligent in that moment? The woman was triggered by the whole violation. The violation's the same. The violation's the same. Mm-hmm. A smack on the ass by whoever did it. It wasn't invited. But because of the woman's experiences in life and in the world and how she's processing that data, danger, stranger danger, he's bigger than that. It's a problem. The man's processing that same slap on the ass, but he turns around. He doesn't see danger. He just sees like, oh, God, I'm not interested in this woman touching my body. I'm out.
Right.
We're processing it different because of how we process the world differently.
Got it.
Neither one is emotionally dumb, because in that scenario, for the woman to get her point across to the man who is inappropriate, she had to raise her voice, be like, get the fuck away from me, blah, whatever. The guy doesn't need to intimidate the woman who slapped him on the ass, because he has to just say, this is not appropriate, and walk off. She says, if she just turns around and says, this is not appropriate, he's going to keep coming. So she's got to do something. So both instances.
She has to ward off.
Right. Both instances, are emotionally intelligent responses. You know? And so that's just a simple analogy.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Because two totally different experiences.
Right.
Yeah. Being a man, you're not in fear.
And a lot of times men get...
Unless she's bigger than you.
Still not in fear. Because she's bigger than me, I can outrun her. I can outwalk her.
Right.
You know, but...
Take her out kneecaps.
But men get caught up in being told they're emotionally bankrupt when they don't understand a woman's point of view.
Emotionally unavailable.
Yes, because number one, either he doesn't have empathy for your emotion because he can't. He doesn't feel the same way you do. He can say, I sympathize with you, but I don't have empathy for something I don't experience. I can't feel it because I feel different than you. And so you're considered emotionally bankrupt or emotionally unavailable because I expressed the feelings I want with you. And sometimes we're told our emotional intelligence is low because we don't share enough, because we don't show enough emotion, but yet we get dinged for showing that we're emotionally intelligent, that we feel, that we have vulnerabilities, that we have all these different things, you know. But where a man's emotional intelligence starts to rise, you see it in his motivation. One of the 5 key elements of emotional intelligence. He's got a high motivation quotient. You know, he's on it. He's moving and shaking. And sometimes he's got to bury the empath to stay motivated.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's he's self-aware. So in order to motivate and move forward, I have to bury some of the depressed feelings. I have to bury some of these feelings in order to push forward.
But that can lead to a level of tragedy as well.
Think about it. 5 key elements, 100 points total. Nobody's going to have 20 points in each element.
No.
You know what I mean? You may dip as an empath as a man, but motivation may rise. Mm-hmm. One of the 5th key element is social skills. There are some people that are socially awkward, but that doesn't mean they have no social skills. They just have social skills in the right social setting.
Absolutely. Know a few of those.
You take that dude who loves Comic-Con and you put him at a sports bar.
He's out of his element.
He's a Trekkie. He's going to show up with his Star Trek uniform on to a sports bar. He's going to be looked at as socially awkward. But you take that dude wearing a Peyton Manning jersey
and put him
in
Comic-Con or
in a Harry Potter themed party, everybody's going to look at him like he's awkward.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so your social skills depend on your social setting. And sometimes people will lack social graces, which can ding they don't know how to appropriately talk to somebody. They don't know how to not blurt everything that comes out of their mouth. There's no filter. So developing social skills where there are people out there who don't know how to make friends. They're awkward in every situation. Does that make them have less emotional intelligence? I don't know. But if your social skills lack, and this is what I think, I'm just making this up on the fly because it just makes sense in my head. Mm-hmm. If you lack social skills, then your level of motivation to excel, because you're not going to want to, you're going to want to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
And because of that, you may be self-aware that you have this fear, but you don't have the motivation to do anything about it. And so you just kind of sit back and you can become withdrawn. And those are the people that become emotionally bankrupt, although they may express a ton of emotions. Does that make sense?
But they're expressing them to nowhere. You know,
Yeah.
they're still socially inept. They can't get it out there. It's like this crock pot that just is constantly boiling.
Well, that's when you have too much self-regulation. Mm-hmm. It's to the point where like people sometimes call me a robot.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you don't, and this is what I get accused of. The reason why I'll say I'm not a robot, because everybody else says, you don't allow yourself to feel. No, I just don't allow you to see me feel. There's a difference. A robot can't feel, and a robot can't express. I can feel, I just don't express it the way you want me to.
Yeah.
Does that make me a robot, or does that make me a high self-regulator?
And also, you may not be the party that I need to share that with.
Maybe it ain't for you.
Exactly. You know, you have to make that call to this one and this one. You only have maybe one or two that you can share that with, that you need to get that out.
Yeah.
Because you know that they're going to be available to listen without judgment. They're going to give you your space.
So if I sit across from somebody in the hospital and I tell them, hey, you have cancer, or you may never walk again because of the spinal cord injury, blah, 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 whatever it may be. If I am stoic in the way that I tell them, and I'm matter of fact, and then I pause, I can't have empathy for that situation because I've never been paralyzed. I've never, been in that situation. But I'm self-regulating my emotion because I feel like fuck when I got to tell these patients that. It rips my heart out when I have to tell patients shit. But I can't let them see that, because then when they see it, you can see the hope drain from their face. And so that self-regulation is important to keep that bottled in. But I can come home, or I can come sit in front of coach and be like, dude, this fucked me up today. You know,
I've had a few of those.
Yeah, but I can't tell the patient that.
Yeah.
They have to think that Dr. H got this. Yeah. And even when I don't know if I got it, they can't know that.
Yeah.
So in that instance, self-regulation is important. So does that make my level of emotional intelligence go up because I'm over-regulating in that situation? Yes, because it's making up for the empathy that I don't have.
Right. Right. It got me thinking about my emotional intelligence and how I used to shut down. So my emotions would be so hard and heavy. And as I take them in, I'm still just taking them in. And I take them in. And then I'm critiquing and beating myself up. And then I'm taking more in. So I'm taking in way more than I need to. So my cup is fulleth. But what I've learned at freaking 50 years old is just let go.
Yeah.
Like whatever someone else is feeling that's making me emotional, that I'm harboring and holding on, I learned to say, why do you feel that way? Okay, I get that. I understand. I can respect that. I need to utilize that as a vehicle versus an anchor.
Yeah.
It took a long time, and it took a lot of dialing back to my history, that family of origin or whatever you want to call it. And, that's why I always say as a coach, I'm a coach, but I'm a practitioner. I'm always in practice. I'm never out of the loop.
No.
There is no,
there's
social media.
Practice of medicine.
Yeah.
We're always practicing.
Exactly.
Because there's no getting it perfect.
Yeah.
There's always improving how we learn and how we disseminate that information that we learn.
Yeah.
And emotional intelligence comes with learning more about yourself. It goes back to self-awareness.
Yeah. Knowing
that I don't know it all.
Yeah.
Knowing that I can't control it all. So now I start to regulate what I can, knowing every now and then, I'm not going to be able to hold this fuck you in.
Yeah. But like for myself, it's also allowed me to be more emotionally involved and be able to really receive the message without heartache, and we can have a correspondence versus me just like, and then a week, 2 weeks later, I'm finally coming out of it. That's good for no one.
Yeah.
I'm sick. She don't like me. Now she's figuring like, well, where the hell you go?
So here's a question too. Let's talk about social skills.
Yeah.
Like how you walk into a room and everybody's like Kenny's friend at that moment. Like, I want to be next to this guy because there's something about him and he can talk to anybody anywhere. Now you take somebody who walks into a room and because of pure insecurities tries to embellish everything about them and go overboard with everybody. Who's more, and yet everybody's still talking to them and doing that, or better yet, he's talking to everybody. There's a difference. Everybody wanting to talk to you and you wanting to talk to everybody, you're still having conversations in a social setting. Mm-hmm. Who's got social skills and who's lacking?
Yeah.
You know? And then there's a time when I used to always think that, you know, when I was younger, my social skills, I was like, what are they? I don't know that I have them because I was very reserved.
Okay.
I'd go into a room and I watch people. Because and today I still do it now. I watch people. I want to see what they're about. And then I'll kind of, oh, that one looks interesting, or that person over there, I heard something, they say something, but I'm not that initiator a lot of times. As I've gotten older, I've learned to do that. But instead of that being a lack of social skills, I look at it as being socially skillful.
Yeah.
You know, just like I'm very discriminate with who I socialize.
You don't have to take it all in. You take in what you want and what you need at that time.
Yeah. And so that's when I realized, okay, I'm socially fine. I just don't feel like socializing with everybody.
Yeah.
So does that make me emotionally not intelligent? Because my social skills are different?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I say, when you asked me what percentage of people are emotionally intelligent, we all are. We just are more intelligent in certain aspects than others and in certain scenarios. Some of us can be emotionally dumb in the presence of somebody else or in their eyes if what we are showing them, they're not getting. I'm self-aware, but I'm not aware of what their needs are.
Yeah.
So that makes me not emotionally intelligent when it comes to that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to have a blanket statement that men aren't emotionally intelligent or that women have more emotional intelligence than men, that shit needs to go away. One's no better than the other.
Yeah. You know, I have to think of it like how people learn. You know, some people are visual, some people are audible. Some people it literally has to be written out. Everybody learns differently. And some people are, you know, we were talking about sales earlier. Mm-hmm. It's like one of the things is you learn is mirroring. You have to find out where people are. If you have somebody that's, hey, what's going on? They're popping off in the gums. Right. You have to kind of meet them where they are, but at the same time, just bring the energy up, but mirror that. You can't go hard on everybody thinking everybody's the same.
Because everybody can't take that.
Yeah. Everybody doesn't, they don't take the information the same way. If I'm coming in hot and you're like this, you're like, where's the way out?
Right.
You're
not reading the room.
You're not reading the room.
And we're gonna get to that topic at some point. You know. But people, men and women alike, if a man or if your partner or your friend or whoever it is, don't call him or her lacking. Don't say they're lacking emotional intelligence because they don't express their emotions in a manner that is accepting to you. You never tell me how you feel, blah, blah, whatever, but I show you all the time. There's multiple ways to express emotion. and to understand emotion without saying a word. And because I'm not expressing it the way that you understand it, does that make me less intelligent or you? Mm-hmm. I think the self-aware person will say, the way that you are expressing, I need you to express your emotions to me in a manner that I understand. Here's how I understand things. Or here's what I'm getting from you, the self-awareness part. Here's what I'm getting from you. Is this correct?
Yeah.
I feel like we're not as close, or I feel like we're not this or that. And here's why I feel that way. Instead of just saying, you don't know how to show your emotions. You don't tell me how you feel.
You always do that.
I tell you how I feel all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I show you how I feel all the time. I just express it. I use different words and I have different actions.
Right.
I may think I'm showing you that I love you by cleaning the kitchen without you asking me. I'm showing you that I love you by cooking you dinner tonight. Does that mean I have to come tell you I love you every time I think it? No. Yeah. Because my actions and how I treat you should show that. But if I'm not expressing my emotion, or like when I'm angry, I don't have to tell you I'm angry. I don't have to fly off the handle. I just have to show my disappointment by being quiet. If I'm doing something that's out of character, ask me rather than assume. Mm-hmm. The emotional intelligence side of things would be to ask and not assume.
It's
and me being in control of my emotions is intelligent.
Yeah, assumption is the devil of all all detrimental aspects of a relationship. Assumptions and absolutes.
Yep,
absolutes can kill, because for me, I'm a detailed person. You say you always do this, like, I'm having a hard time with that, because you're saying that there's no way out.
Always or never. Those are the two things. You never do this, or you never.
Those are absolutes.
Yeah.
They
always and never are killers.
And yeah, and also that's fraudulent, because
it's a lie. It's just not true.
It's not true.
And so if you tell me something about me that's just not true, and I know that you've already wrapped your head around the fact that it is in your brain, you get mad at me for not snapping on you and having an argument. But why have an argument when you know there's not an argument to win? So I just, like what you just did, just, all right, it's not true, but okay.
Mm-hmm. You made me think of that one post that you sent to me where the guy was like with relationships, he's like, all right, we'll just go to sleep and try it again tomorrow. Right? Yeah. Because I'm not going to stay in this lane. I'm not going to give you that, because there's no winning, so there's no point. And I love you, so I'm not going to stay in this space.
Yeah.
And that's your space that you have to figure out if you want to stay emotional about it, or do you want to dive into your emotions and figure out why you keep reacting to me in that capacity based off of this. And when you decide that and say, hey, when you say this way, it makes me feel something, and it's triggering to me, and it bugs me.
So can we talk about it?
It's pretty easy.
We say it all the time, learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
And I think with that, ask yourself the next time you are in a situation, is this an emotionally intelligent response, or am I just being emotional? Dude, good topic. Good podcast, man. Whether y'all like it or not. I don't care. We have a good time talking about it.
Stop being so damn emotional.
Right. Stop letting shit rub you so wrong.
Duh. Fix your shit.
Shit. Coach, where they gonna find you at, man?
They're gonna find me at Coach KJ Knows on Instagram and CoachKJ.com.
And you're going to find me at Leonel Hunt, Leonel Hunt on Instagram. You'll find me at huntspine.com. Foundation's doing big things, thehuntfoundation.org. Coach KJ and I both, you'll find us on SOE_podcast on IG. You'll catch our lives like we talked about. Everything Coach and Doc you'll see on podcastsoe.com. Go check us out, subscribe, like, share. We do this shit every week and we enjoy it. Peace out.
Deuces.